Hey everybody that's watching this video. This is a video response to Cutlery Lover's video. I cut myself today, not once, but twice. And he wants everyone, like his subscribers, or whoever watches the video, to make a video telling people how they got cut. I got cut really bad once. I'm going to be telling this story right now. I got cut really bad once in school. In my school, I don't know if they have this in your school, but in my school, they have wood shop class where you just make things out of wood, and I cut myself really bad. And here's a few things that I made out of wood. I made that clock, and I made this, which is a symbol of the Portuguese icon, and I made this. I made that right there. It says Tiago Rocha, that's my name. Made that right there, that's a guitar pick. I made many things. I made my mom a shelf for her room, and recently, it was actually 2 years ago now, my school starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, so 7 a.m., and that's pretty early, and that's the first class I had. So woodshop in the morning, so you're kind of tired. And what happened was that day we were using the router. So you might know what the router is. It makes a certain edge on a piece of wood. So it could be like a rounded edge or like a little swivel on it. So it could make different edges on wood, and we were using that machine. And he was doing an edge on a circle piece of wood, and it had a knot in it. And when I went around, the wood had a knot, and the knot broke off, and then the wood went flying, and my hand stayed there, and it sucked my hand into the machine, and then, as you can see, I have scars from it. There's a pretty bad scar on this finger, as you might be able to see, and that wraps all around my finger. See, it starts here, then it goes up, and then it comes down until here. So it went all the way around my finger. It also was on this finger right here. As you can see, there's like a weird line on my finger. It was on my thumb over here. Still a little mark. And then this finger. Now this finger, it starts here, and it goes around. It goes around the whole finger. And now my fingers did not fall off. They were very close to it. It chipped the bone on all sides. So the whole bone is chipped around. This one's chipped like this. This one chipped like this. And what happened was I had to go to the emergency room straight from school. 7 o'clock it happened. By 7:30 I was already in the emergency room. And then they said that they were going to put me straight into a surgery, but the doctor was somewhere else and he could not come yet. So I got my surgery at 6 o'clock at night. It took the surgeons more than 2 hours just for my fingers. 2 hours. They said it was like a puzzle putting the pieces back together. They had to put it back, and then they had to put the skin back and then sew it, and then put the skin back and then sew that side, and then this side, and then that side, and then the bottom side. And they said that there was pieces of skin missing, so they had to leave little gashes, little holes in my skin. So they sewed it as close as possible. As you might be able to see, there's different color skin. That's brand new skin that formed over the scars. So I had 14 stitches on my fingers, and the real pain was the stitches, because the skin keeps growing. Your skin always growing, and the skin starts to grow over the stitches, and that was really painful. That is the only time I felt the pain. And when they were removing the stitches, which it hurts, they had to pull the stitches up with the needle nose pliers and then cut it. That was painful. But during it all, when it happened, I was in shock. I didn't feel anything at all. I went from my class to the nurse, and then I walked from the nurse to the stretcher because they couldn't get the stretcher into the nurse's office, so I had to walk. The whole trip, they were asking me where my address is and how old I am and what's my name, just in case I was gonna be like, lose consciousness. But I stayed awake. I got to the ER. They put me in a bed, and when I got there, they then said that it might be an hour. I had to wait. Let's see, from probably about like 8 o'clock until 6 p.m. because the doctor was busy somewhere else and he wasn't around. So I had to wait that long. Then they kept me overnight. They kept me that night, obviously, for just to make sure I was okay. And then they let me go home the next day at around like 12 o'clock. And I had like a big boxing glove looking thing on my hand because they wanted my fingers to be straight as possible. So they put like a plate over here kind of thing. They put like plates going down my hand, and then they like taped it. And then they like wrapped that with like gauze. So it was always still bleeding because there were still parts that were open. And then they wrapped that with tape. And then they put like a glove over it. And then they wrapped that with gauze. So it was like a big, big boxing glove. My hand was like this. And medicine they were giving me, I was so happy. They gave me some good pain medicine, great pain medicine. Don't know what it is, but it was awesome. And my doctor said anytime I had pain, anytime during the day, I could just take whatever I needed until the pain would go away, which was awesome. So then I had to do therapy for 3 months after the surgery. So I can, my muscle in my hand, my tendons, they were all cut. So I had to do therapy 3 months straight, 2-3 times a week. First thing I did when I got to therapy, they put my hand in like a hot wax, like kind of like candle wax. I put my hand in there, and then I would take it out, and then my hand would have like a thick, like this much thick layer of like wax on my hand, and then they would let that sit for maybe like 15 minutes, and then you could just peel it off, and your skin would be so smooth. And then I had to like learn how to grab things again with this hand because like the fingers just didn't have muscle, and they still don't. Like I could do this easily, and this takes like I can't. So it's like this whole hand is still different. Out of force of habit, my left hand always ends up in my pocket or in my sweatshirt because like when it happened, I had to be wearing this big glove for 3 months, and then after that, I had to have individual like finger wraps, and my fingers were like this, and they were thick, like big sausage links. So I always had my hand in my pocket. So out of force of habit, now my hand is always in my pocket. And during that therapy session, I'm skipping around. During the therapy session, I had to like pick things up out of sand so I could feel getting feeling back in my fingers. I still don't have feeling over here. From this cut, as you can see right here, there's a cut. From the cut up, I don't have feeling. And if I touch on this side, I feel it over here. It's really weird. I guess like when they did it, like they switched the tendons or something, and like I touch here and I feel it over here. It's really weird. And then this side I touch here and I feel it here, but this side I touch here and I feel it here. It's really weird. All right. I also had to put my hand in sand, and then I had to like feel around in the sand trying to find objects. Like this finger was actually the worst. It cut across, and it went right over the knuckle. It went over this knuckle and then over this knuckle. And this knuckle right here, it can bend easily. But this one, it does not bend. I can force it. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on that, and it's just not bending. It's just not going. The only thing, it bends back a little bit, but it doesn't bend forward at all. I went to the doctor, and he said that I could bend that again, but they're going to have to cut the tendon right here and then like stretch it out or something. But that's another surgery, and I really don't want another surgery, so I'm not getting that done. So that's one of my stories. It's obviously bad, and I still have problems 2 years later. So it's not a knife cut, but I have gotten cut by knives too also. But this is just my worst cut I ever had. And this happened in school. So I was out of school for, I would say I was out of school maybe for like a month. And then I went to school, and the principal said that I didn't have to go to school if I really didn't want to. So then I took a couple extra weeks off. And I passed that year. They said it's okay, just pass them. Oh, that's my dog barking. Yeah, this was definitely the worst cut I ever had. And now for the second cut. The second cut, I was coming home from school one day. I'm going to say this was probably the same year, but this probably happened before. I was coming home from school one year, and I left my keys at home that morning. And my mom, she was somewhere, maybe with my grandmother or something, and my dad goes to work in the morning. So I was home alone. I didn't have a way to get in, so I went to my backyard, and I was sitting in my backyard, probably for about 30 minutes. My mom's like, I'm probably not going to be home for another 2 hours. So I was like, ugh, what am I going to do now? So what I did was I tried to see if any windows were open in my house. And when I did that, I was pushing one up, and that one wasn't open. I would go to the next one and push that one up a little bit, see if that one was open. So I was basically trying to break into my house. And then my locks on my windows are like they like twist like this and latch. So I thought maybe I could push it and then push it up to like go over that little latch that it goes around. So when I was pushing on it, I was pushing on the glass, and I pushed, and it shattered, and it cut me right here. This cut was from here all the way down to my elbow, and it was bad. Like, it went deep. I don't even know. That happened. It was like crack. I never broke a window before, so I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't know it was going to be that sensitive of a window. I guess I was putting a lot of pressure on it because I'm a big guy, as you can tell. So I was pushing on the window, and it broke, and my hands went up, and then the glass that was still like hanging like this went right in my arm. Cut it. So I'm bleeding everywhere, and then I'm bleeding everywhere. There's no one home. So instead of climbing into the window, go running, and my backyard is really big. It's really big. Running to the back, and we have a shed in the back, and I was trying to find like paper towels or something, but I couldn't find anything, so I found my dad's work gloves. So I just like grabbed the work gloves, and I was like wiping it, and it just kept coming, and I didn't know what to do. And then so I went back, and I was like holding the glove on my arm as I'm still bleeding, and then I had a sweatshirt on. I took my sweatshirt off, and I was like wrapping my arm, and I just like held my sweatshirt like this in my arms. And so when she got home, I was sitting outside still, and she didn't know. She came straight to the backyard, like the back door of my house, and opened it. And then she let me in, and I was like, I tried to open the window. She's like, okay, and I'm like, and it broke. And she's like, what? And she freaked out on me. I was probably about 13 at the time, 13, 14. So I was holding my sweatshirt like this and holding it, and then there's blood dripping, and my mom didn't notice, and she comes and looks at the window. And then she's like, you're cleaning all this up. I'm like, okay. So I had to like vacuum the whole room, and I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs really quick. I have to go to the bathroom. So I went and I put a bandage on my arm. I like wrapped it up, and I put my sweatshirt over, so I had long sleeves on, so my mom wasn't asking me questions about it. Piece of wood on the side of our house. It was actually in the back of our house, and like there was no light coming in that window. It was really weird. And my sister comes home. She's like, what happened to the window? My mom's like, nothing. But yeah, that was a pretty bad cut too. And as you can see, still have the scar from it. The rest of it kind of went away, but this is like the part you can see. But I didn't get stitches on here because I didn't want to tell my mom, because I didn't want to get in trouble for breaking the window, and I also cut myself. So yeah, that's my story. If you would like to subscribe to me, you can press right here. I would really appreciate it. It's I usually do knife reviews like Cutlery Lover. I also do unboxings of knives. Sometimes I get other things, like I actually did a review on the case that I have on my laptop right now. and just other random things. And if you want to see my last video, it's a unboxing of my first Zippo ever, so that's really cool. You can press right here and it'll take you to a separate page. You can watch that. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Now, this is not a mandatory tag. It's optional. If you want to tell a story, you can make a video response to my video, or you can make it on Cutlery Lover's original video, and tell how you got cut. Say, I got cut with a knife, I got cut with paper, I got cut with router, like I did, just a really bad story or a really funny story. I would really like to hear it happen to you. Thank you.